What's up everyone, and welcome back to the comms channel. Today's video we're going to cover the DRATS program I mentioned in last week's video and why it's one of my favorite packet radio programs. So hang around and we'll dig into it.
Hughes here, Morse on guard, aircraft 4 miles west of Bainbridge Airport.
Okay, I'll be back in 6 seconds.
We're approaching a restricted area. Restricted area is 1 mile west.
When it comes to packet radio software, DRATS quickly became a favorite of mine due to its multiple capabilities. With it, you're able to chat via instant messaging with multiple chat rooms, email-like messaging, and also file sharing. Now, it's been around a while, but I never looked too deep into it because at first glance, from reading about it, makes it seem like it's for D-Star radios only. However, in addition to working with D-Star radios, it also supports the use of TNCs, which allows it to work with whatever you're using for packet radio. Getting into the program here, you'll notice these tabs at the top for messages, chat, files, and event log. The messages tab is for the email-like messages that you can send out. There are also various forms you can fill out for sending, as well as the ability to create your own custom forms if you have a need for this. For this demo video though, we're just going to send a message using the email form by simply hitting New, selecting the email form, putting in the call sign of the person you want to send the message to, filling out the subject, and then finally the message itself. Once you have everything filled out, you can then hit the Send Via button and put in the call sign of who you're sending to if sending direct without the use of a digipeater. And just like the email clients you're used to, you'll have folders for drafts, inbox, outbox, sent, and trash. And here you'll see the message we just typed up to fill in the outbox. Once that transmission completes, it'll then appear in the sent folder. And now we have an incoming transmission, which I assume is Phil's reply email, which you can now see is appearing in the inbox here. And just as you would do with the email client, you can click on the message to open it up and read it and reply if needed. And onto the chat portion of the program. This part's pretty self-explanatory. Just type in your message and hit the send button and enjoy instant messaging over packet radio. Now it'll start you off in a main chat room, but you also have the ability to create and join other chat rooms, as well as open a private chat with someone by hitting the private chat button and entering in their call sign. Now on to the files portion of the application. This part's also pretty straightforward. You'll have on the left side is going to be the local files. Now, stuff that will show up in the local files when you install DRATS, it will put a folder named DRATS shared in your desktop. Any files that you have within this folder will be available for sharing with other users. So typically, if someone wanted to download a file from you, they would enter in your call sign here, then hit connect, and then a list of files will appear here. Then they would just select whatever file they want, then hit download, and it'll download those files. Alright, so that was just a quick overview of DRATS. There's of course a bit more you can do with it, but I just wanted to give a quick overview of what it's about, just to see if you'd even be interested in installing it. If so, you want to head over to this page, and I will include a link in the video description to this page. On here you'll notice 3 links for the Windows version of DRATS, which is what I'll cover in this video. You can install this on Linux, but for this video I'll just be covering Windows. You'll likely want this 64-bit link. Most computers nowadays are 64-bit. If you do have 32-bit, which would be a fairly old computer at this point, you will want to also install this. But for the 64-bit version, you don't need that. So we're just going to download this file here. Alright, so once that is done downloading, go ahead and navigate to the folder that it downloaded to, right click on that file and hit extract all. Once that is done extracting, you'll have a new folder here with all of the files needed for DRATS. Now, before you continue, DRATS is a Python-based program. So in order for it to run, you will need to install Python on your computer. And to do that is pretty simple. You'll need to go to the Microsoft Store. To do that, just click on the Start button and start typing in Store. And you'll see the Microsoft Store appear. Just click on that link to the Microsoft Store. And here you can search for Python. And you will see a number of different versions of Python available. Go ahead and install the latest, which is Python 3.11. Now, I've already installed this, so you'll see it says owned there. But if you haven't installed it and you click to open that up, you'll have a get button here. Actually, let me go to this one that I don't have to show you that. So if you don't have Python 3.11, when you go to that page, you will have this get button. Just click on that and it'll install that version of Python. But install whatever the latest is. In the case of this video at this time, it's 3.11. So once that is installed, the next important thing you'll need to do. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, I mentioned that DRATS has that shared folder on the desktop. So any files in that shared folder on the desktop will be available for other users to download files from. Now, if you're using Microsoft OneDrive and you have the desktop set to be backed up, that will prevent DRATS from opening. So to resolve that, what you want to do, you'll likely have this cloud on the bottom right. If you right click on that, you can go to settings, then settings again, and here you will be able to manage backup and select which folders you want to back up. And you'll see here that my desktop is not currently being backed up. So just make sure you have that button off so the desktop isn't being backed up. So once you've installed Python and made sure that OneDrive is not backing up your desktop, you can go back to that DRATS folder. And you'll see this d-rats.exe. That is the DRATS program. Now you may want to create I'll just pin it to the start button just for ease of access, but you can just open it up from here if you like. Now when you do that, it'll pop up this message saying this is the first time running DRATS, and take you to the to where you can edit the configuration. And here you go. So here you'll want to enter in your call sign, your name, you can change your units if you like, and the other stuff you can leave as is, really. The key thing here is going to be radio. So DRATS uses things called ratflectors, which go over the internet, which I don't really mess with. So typically this will be on there by default. I usually just remove that. Then you can go to add your TNC, or if you're using a D-Star radio connected to your computer. In my case, I'll be using a TNC. I'm gonna be using it with my Kenwood, which I know is COM 5. And well, actually, I think a lot of you may be using a Nucleo TNC, so let me change that. So type will be TNC. I don't have it connected at the moment, but let's just say it's COM 5. Now the baud rate for Nucleo TNC, this will, if you followed my Nucleo TNC video, it will be the same settings that you saw me enter in for the other software. So the baud rate will be 38,400. This TNC port can remain 0. Make sure AX25 is enabled. And digipath, I usually use the default wide 1-1, wide 2-1, but change that to whatever you need. So once you hit add, you will then see this option for Nucleo TNC. If you have other radios, you can go ahead and add those as well. So I'll just give an example. Let's say I had my Kenwood and the Nucleo TNC. I would put the Kenwood here. It's not really on COM 1, but we'll just say it is. And then 9600, the usual settings, whatever you need to do. Then add. Then you'll see these two options. So you can go and save that. And that will take you to the program. Now, you saw in my demo, you got the messages, chat, files, and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's how you get it configured and get started with it. But that'll do it for this video. If you found it useful, definitely give me a thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you all and have a good one.